Welcome back to Nick Lenz's Comic Corner Classic, Less Known Classics. This is episode number 1800 and 1988 and Doubleshot number 1882. So with this one, after this one, I have approximately 12 episodes left to go before I reach episode number 2000. Yep, just 12 more. Yep, so now, first up, we have the final trade of Gail Simone's run for Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman Contagion. Of course, written by Gail Simone and artwork by Nicola Scott. This book contains issues 40 to 44 of Wonder Woman Volume 3. Yep. The Nicola Scott's not the artist. And we also have Aaron Lipsey, Chris Batista, Fernando De Gato, and Travis Moore. The cover artwork that you saw on the cover, that's Nicola Scott with Hi-Fi, who is the colorist in here, as the cover artist. Yep. Now, first, despite the trade is called Contagion, the first arc is called Murder of Crows. Most of it's Wonder Woman fighting a monster in, what city is this one? Possibly New York, wherever she's based in. So, fights a monster, saves kids. Also meets Ida Candy, who, by the way, since the George Perez one, she has lost a ton of weight. Yeah, apparently she used to be kind of chubby, especially when she first married Steve Trevor. But the reason why she lost weight was because she was off position with the DEO and worked with the government. Worked close with Wonder Woman. So she proceeded to lose a bunch of weight. And also we have a guest appearance in this particular story arc by Power Girl. Yep, Power Girl's here. Where I think at one point she ends up fighting, well, actually works for Checkmate, not DEO. And apparently she was recruited by the Alan Scott Green Lantern and the Michael Mr. Terrific. Yeah, recruited by them. And of course, she proceeds to take up the offer, and then she proceeds to drop a whole bunch of weight and become a field agent. In my opinion, her losing weight was actually a pretty smart move on the part of Gail Simone to do. And then we have Wonder Woman fighting Power Girl. And there's more stuff with the gods and stuff with. And then we have continue to fight Wonder Woman versus Power Girl. Fight. From the new show from the JSA. Yeah, and it turns out that Power Girl is being controlled by somebody else. Yep. And of course she agrees with truce. And then apparently, then we see a white gorilla show up. I think this is supposed to be Gorilla Grodd, but Gorilla Grodd is usually gray, not usually white. And of course, we have to do a close-up pose on Power Girl's chest, in a way. Because, of course, well, probably guys. Yep, and after that two-parter, we have the Wrath of the Silver Star. I believe the first two issues, I think those were 40, 41. Then we have Wrath of the Silver Star, starts to issue 43. And this is where the title comes from. Contagion. Yes. Yeah. Nothing unusual here. Now, normally they take the name of the story arc for the trade. This one took a title of one of the parts. So, yeah, I just want to work with the Green Lanterns for the last few issues of this run. Yep. Yeah. I'll deal with other stuff here, but this is just really good. Then we have her meeting up with which meets up with her aunt, who she ends up fighting in this particular story. Yeah, her aunt, and I believe was named Priscilla. Yes, so. And then she ends up fighting her goons, and then she fights other people. Of course, Ida Candy gets involved with fighting monsters on Earth while Wonder Woman goes on her planet, fights these other people. Really good stuff here. And then Wonder Woman fights basically in the final issue, which is issue 44, fights her aunt, and, well, kind of beats her in a way, and of course takes her back to Themyscira for a trial. And the thing ends quite peacefully with her reunited with her fellow Amazons, and that's it. Yep. And that's pretty much the entirety of Gail Simone's run for Wonder Woman. And also the pretty much the finale for Wonder Woman Volume 3. My final thoughts on Wonder Woman Volume 3 and Gail. Let's first start with Gail Simone's run. This run was fantastic. I do agree with the opinion that this book basically was saved. This volume was saved by Gail Simone because, well, the stories were consistently very good and the book was on time. It basically continued the romance between Wonder Woman and Nemesis, though it did eventually before the run concluded. Not really sure why that Gail Simone had a good idea to do that, but she did. But this one overall was just really good. Surprisingly, it's not very long. Excuse me, if you think about it, she's looking at book issue 14 of this volume. Even though technically her final issue is issue 600, if you think about it, it's like 32 issues she did. Only about 3 years. Yeah, almost 3 years in this book. And then she left and got replaced with JMS. Though he got replaced halfway through his Odyssey book. So basically with this, I have officially now reviewed for Wonder Woman as far back as 2007, the present. There is going to be one more trade I'm going to review, and hopefully that will basically get me out of the mid-2000s, get like 2003. I'm going to be I'm going to do this with a few other series too, in order to get them fully reviewed. I'm going to be doing a series discussing a good chunk of these issues. I give out a successful Wolverine now. Surprisingly, some of these issues are actually not in trade. I will be discussing them at some point, and there's that. So, next up we have Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, Volume 11, Necessary Evil, and this contains issues 40 and 43 of Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. Now, of course, here we have a brand new writer, Ryan Parrott. Yes, for some reason, the writer of Go-Go Power Rangers has moved over to Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, which, of course, comes to issue 40, and then the book ends 15 issues later. Well, at the time, then they end this book, and they kind of take the two names, Mighty Morphin and Power Rangers, and split them to two separate books. Basically, in a way, Necessary Evil is kind of the best way to describe this. It's like the events of Passing the Torch and White Light are now basically set after those particular issues, those particular episodes per se, because we have a brand new roster here. So we start in London, not Angel Grove, London, fighting creatures without monsters from putties, and of course it's revealed that the red, yellow, and black Rangers are replaced with Rocky, Aisha, and Adam. I met this one. Yeah, I met her at Comic-Con a couple times. Actually, I think last I saw her again, it was actually just this year. Great person to meet. And by the way, she looks fantastic for a woman her age. You know, she's only in her early 40s now. But yeah, she looks great. That was Karen Ashley who played her. Rocky was played by Steve Carranos. I have seen him once at Comic-Con. I never actually met him personally in person. I've seen him from a distance. I was at a panel, believe it or not, about 8 years ago I saw him. A panel with Jason Flom, which I'm going to see him again in January. And also Nikita, the one who replaced Karen Ashley. Now, who was the Black Ranger, you might ask? Who is, well, Adam? That was Johnny on Bosch, a.k.a. the voice of Ichigo. So this is after basically those few episodes. Passing the Torch was a two-parter from season 2. Now, from what I've heard, the reason why that off-screen, the reason why that Austin St. John, Tina Trang, and Walter Jones, the guy who played Zach, the reason why I left was over money. That was simply the reason for it. And there was a mention he apparently made more work at McDonald's than, well, though for some reason the artist decided not to have, now in the case of these three, the one where the artist draws Rocky, it's very similar to Steve Carranos at the time. The one who, Aisha, I at least got hands to that one. But the other one that kind of does not look like the actor at all is basically Adam. That does not look like Johnny on Bosch. The other ones are usually pretty close to the actual actors who play on the show. But yeah, Adam does not look like the actor from the show. And of course, I do appreciate Ryan Parrott added here where Tommy is liking new powers, but he's basically very having doubts about it. And you know it's season 2 because Rita's gone. So yeah, season 2 has probably happened in this comic already, so Yeah, basically set habit right after the opening episode of season 1, which is called was the 3-part called the Mutiny, where Lord Zed showed up, and here he is, Lord Zed. I gotta admit, the artist actually did a pretty good job recreating him. It's pretty accurate to the show. And of course, basically, Repulse was replaced because of failures. Yeah, Sam, that's the reason why she's not here. And of course, because set in season 2, you might be thinking, is there appearance by the Thunderzords in these issues? The answer is yes. There's more high school stuff here. And of course, this guy who looks like, well, he says his name is Dane, who surprisingly looks like the same species as Doggy Kruger from SPD. Yeah, that's what he looks like. I don't think this is an ancestor of his per se. I think it's just in the same species, just also different skin color too. So, and apparently also Spike have Skull having a girlfriend named Candace. I don't remember her in the show, probably of the comic. And then we have something that did not appear in the 90s show. We have them talking to, well, Austin, Zach, and Trini on a smartphone. Should point out, though, this is supposed to set in the 90s, and yet they're using modern tech. And they talk about, go to Switzerland. But no, they're not in Switzerland. They're basically in someplace else, and they're the Omega Rangers now. Yeah, this is what they do with them. You could say this is basically a backdoor pilot to their book. I believe it was Mighty Morphin, I think it was. They basically focus on them working with... I'll get to that. So then we have Dwayne basically look at a bunch of footage of fighting stock footage, fighting monsters, and we have Babu and Squat just show up, and of course they think it might come to something like, no, not really. And they're just on a plan when they meet up with other people. This is sort of in the previous story arc per se, in the Beyond the Grid stuff, and of course we still kind of deal with that. We have the Omega Rangers. We deal with like various sorts off-world. Yeah. And of course we do see what looks like to be a dumpster in space. Yeah. This can here, in the show, the Repulse is the thing. She's the only occupant of this one. She apparently did eventually come back at the end of season 2. And she married Lord Zed. Yes, she did. And apparently the thing is kept here for a while. Probably just to acknowledge the fact she's there, but she won't come back really soon. Who knows? Do I think they might reference the wedding 3-parter? I'm not sure, but they might. So, most of the Mega Rangers, they go to Great Wall of China, which is so fun. Fight our bad guys. A lot of fun stuff here. And of course, they have fighting Dwayne. And they don't technically beat him per se. They just basically deal with a draw with him. Maybe we're going to deal with other alien threats. And yes, like I said, the Thunder Megazord does show up here. Yep. The Thunder Megazord. That's how you know we're in season 2. Yep, because Thunder Megazord. Actually, no, that's not from season 2. This actually is from... Actually, yeah, this is from season 2. Yeah. Which was adapted from Die Range, which I have did review that one about 6 years ago. So it ends up basically breaking the gold crystal on the chest of the Megazord, and that's it. This overall is really good. They really explain how Tommy gets back Saba with the head. Yeah, they don't really go into that. Don't know why. I do appreciate how these A files they had basically when they first showed up, like the White Ranger, Tommy, first appearance, Green Part 1 out of control. Yep. Then we have Rocky, the Ninja Counter, which from the opening episode of season 2. Actually, it was the episode just afterwards. The A files, which is for Pink Ranger, Day of Dumpster, Billy, Day of Dumpster, and that's it. They don't have one for Aisha or the one for the other ones. But yeah, That book is really good. I give that book a 9.5 out of 10. War Contagion, 9.5 out of 10 as well. Okay, so that's the episode of you. Since I get this video of the previous film, I'm just going to go straight to do the OVA from Mushoku Tensei. Okay, next video. Bye.